players to watch out for, in your opinion, for the T20 World Cup for the teams that I ask you about. All right.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But we could test my knowledge here. Don't go for anybody.
Oh no, it's just top 8. No offense.
Okay.
To like,
Good. Okay. Phew.
It's just top 8.
Jeez.
So, if you had to pick one player from England
Yes.
for the T20 World Cup,
One player. It's going to be Harry Brook.
Harry Brook. Okay. Cool.
Harry Brook's my man.
Australia.
Hazelwood. I love Hazelwood. He's an unbelievable bowler. I would hate to face him, obviously, because he'd get me out in an instant. But he's so accurate, so awkward. I think he's a brilliant test bowler. But in T20 cricket, I think he's majorly underrated. I think he's so good. I think he's going to have a good tournament. He's going to be at home as well, which will help him. Yeah, I'd probably say that and he'll get smacked now. But I think he's a brilliant bowler. I think he's so good. Economical.
Yeah, 100%. India.
I mean, had Bumrah been there, I think you always have to go with him because the consistency and obviously he's fantastic. But at the moment, like we were just speaking about, it's got to be Sky. Just has to be. He's just in the form of anyone's life. I think he's just playing so well. And similar to Brook, he's got so many options. He can hit the ball wherever he wants. And he's just timing everything. Everything just comes out the middle. Everything just seems to fly over the rope. So, yeah. His record at the moment is ridiculous. It's got to be him.
Totally ridiculous. If I go to Afghanistan.
I mean, it's only one man, really, isn't there? There has to. It was always him, unfortunately, and I'm sure there's some other. They've got some quality players, haven't they? Now they're when I saw them play in Dubai last year, I think they're a much better team now than they were then. But he's the man that they're going to turn to. Every Afghanistani will be looking at him and going, "Well, he's our man." I find it a bit weird that he doesn't bat a bit higher in that team because I think he's a bit dangerous with the bat. He's absolutely all over the place with it. He seems to fling the bat all over the place and I don't think he knows where it's going. But obviously with his bowling, he definitely knows where it's going. And Rashid Khan is my man for them, definitely.
Fair enough. South Africa.
Now they're a weird team, South Africa, because they never do well in World Cups. But this year, I think they could be quite exciting. They've got so much power with the batting. We've seen David Miller and Riley Rousseau, Quinton de Kock, obviously, with his consistency. Tristan Stubbs, who's fit into that team now. He's doing really well. Who would I pick? There is a few, actually, here. Yeah. Riley Rousseau over here in the UK for Somerset.
Yeah.
Absolutely smacking it. Can he keep it going? I'd be surprised. So I don't think I'll go with him. I might go. We'll go with David Miller as South Africa's player to watch. Is that a bit?
No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Reckon?
Yeah, David Miller's not a bad shout. He's their highest scorer.
What do you think of their bowling? What do you think of their bowling?
It's a lot. It's not as consistent in T20s as I'd like, but I think
Shamsi will be there, won't he?
Yeah. But I think
Jansen
should be there as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Jansen's a beast. So you got Jansen, Rabada. You got Shamsi, you got Maharaj, and Gidi.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got a mix of a lot, but how to pick one? So I think David Miller is probably the best choice. If you had,
and it's probably a bit recent. He's just got 100, so I'll just pick him. But he has been good for a while, hasn't he? Yeah. Consistently over the last year or so, he's done quite well. So he did quite well in the IPL. So I think I'd go. I never thought I'd say that, I never thought I'd pick David Miller because he's just a bit of a weird one, but he's got a brilliant record and he's great. It's power. I'm quite excited for that South Africa team. No idea why Temba Bavuma's there. Not a clue. He's absolutely hopeless. I've no idea. I'm sorry, Temba, but you are rubbish at T20 cricket. What are you doing being captain? Yeah,
it's like if you select your best 11, he wouldn't be in that 11. How can he be your captain?
Best 25, I don't think he's in it, mate. I promise you. I think he's. Have you seen his T20 stats? He's like strikes like 108 with the bat.
Wow,
that's
not
that's
ideal.
worse than me, I think. And I have noodle arms.
Right, I'm gonna try and make the Bavuma section a separate video itself. I think this is hilarious.
I think Bavuma. No, thank you. Sorry, Temba, but you're not in. He plays Test cricket in T20 cricket. That's not. We ain't got time for it.
100%, totally. New Zealand.
Bloomin' egg. They're always there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Do you know my favourite New Zealand cricketer of all time is Trent Bolt?
Oh, he's fantastic, isn't he?
I'm gonna have to go with him. He's just got that bit of he moves the white ball, doesn't he? And a lot of batters don't really like that, do they? They quite like the fact that they can open the batting and they've got 2 fielders out and they can go out there and whack it. And then somebody comes in with a little bit of swing and they're like, oh, not really sure I like this anymore. And he's so dynamite in those first 2 or 3 overs when the ball is moving. Well, maybe 6 overs, but 2 or 3 overs that he'll bowl. He's my guy. He's so good. I'd have to pick him, I think. But again, I don't know how New Zealand are going to go, to be honest. And I say that I think every tournament
this year, right? They've had a terrible time this year,
but they always manage to pull it out, don't they, at the right time? And nobody really thinks about them, and they're kind of not in anyone's conversation. And then come the back end of the tournament, they're in the final, and everyone's going, "Well, they could win it," and then they don't. But I don't. I could be surprised this year if they were at the back end of the tournament. But
no, fair point. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you about New Zealand and their form currently. It's not the New Zealand we saw literally last year. It doesn't look like the same team. The loss of Ross Taylor has completely changed the dynamics of the way that team looks.
Kane, poor old Kane. He can't buy a run.
Yeah, it's people get that patch. Virat Kohli got that patch, all right, for like 3 years, and now look at him. He's back in his prime. So yeah,
King Kohli is back. Yeah.
See, I love that. Everyone, doesn't matter where you're from, King Kohli is King Kohli. Like
he's brilliant. I make all the jokes on Twitter. I laugh about it when he's not going well. But everybody knows. Like you'd have to be pretty stupid to not realize how good this guy is.
Oh yeah.
And the cricket's just better when Kohli's scoring hundreds and when Kohli's smashing it around and Kohli's really up for it. Cricket is just way better.
Yeah, totally agree. Last two, Pakistan.
Is Shaheen going to be fit?
Apparently, yes. That's what I have been told. Based on
he's obviously their main guy. I'm not going to be picking Kustal Shah here. That's for sure. I'm going to say that. I'm not going to be picking Iftikhar. No, don't think so. Shadab, maybe. I like Shadab, but I think I'm going to go with Harris Ralph. Those quick pitches in Australia, I think, are going to suit him. And it's really easy just to sit here and go, well, it's going to be Rizwan. But I'm going to go with somebody slightly different. I'll go with Harris Ralph, I think. He was super impressive in that series just gone. And yeah, like 85 mile an hour off cutters. No, thank you. Don't fancy those.
I saw that and I was like, oh, it's a slower delivery, 140 Ks. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's his slower delivery. Good luck with the faster one. Jeez.
I think Sri Lanka's in the running in terms of like the qualifiers, so they don't count.
I like Sri Lanka.
They don't count in this discussion, but I'll ask you about Sri Lanka though.
I like Hasaranga.
Oh,
I don't know. Do you know Hasaranga's fantastic? They've got some brilliant players. I like watching them. But they are... Well, last year they were hopeless. They're a much better team than last year, I think, from what I've seen and what I've read about. But yeah, I don't know. Will they make it? But Hasaranga's great to watch. He's a bit of a rock star cricketer, isn't he? He does a bit of everything.
Yeah.
And his spinners are just really kind of satisfying to watch in a really weird way because he's got a funny old action, but he's got all the little tricks and he is great to watch. I'd have to pick him, but I don't know have they got the consistency? They played really well in the Asia Cup. So maybe it would be great. I'd really like to see them do well. I really would. Same
here, man. It's because they've won the Asia Cup. If they don't qualify, that's gonna just blow my mind. So I think they will qualify, but
surely they will.
Yeah, it'll be the competition of getting into the semis. That's the big thing because you've got England, Australia one end, and you've got India, South Africa because South Africa can do stuff, and Pakistan on the other. So it's like, I know I'm not discounting every other team. I'm just saying like thought process wise. If I had to pick 4, I would pick England, Australia, India, South Africa as my top 4, like if I had to. And because of that reason, when you think of Sri Lanka, I'm like, yes, they did well in Asia, in the UAE, in those conditions.
I don't know if they're going to, exactly. I think you're right. I don't think they'll have quite enough. What do you think about West Indies?
That's a good question.
They're leaving all their players at home, aren't they? They aren't taking flights and things. Shimron Hetmeyer.
I thought Hetmeyer was going to be so crucial for them, right? Because
I like him. He's got the haircut for it.
Yeah. Not just the haircut.
The cricket too. Yeah, that's good too.
Dude, he's got all the tricks with the bat. He's able to build innings. He's able to do the aggressive stuff. If Puran's there, both of them can play off each other. But oh look, he's not in the squad anymore. And there's so many decisions West Indies cricket unfortunately makes every time that make you resent them, for lack of a better term. It's like, man, you could have done so much. But I think West Indies is, no offense to anyone watching, and I'm sorry, Rinal, I know you're from the Caribbean, but West Indies is not getting through to the semis. All right.
I think you could safely say that. I think you can keep your money. And I completely agree. No, and people like Narayan, like Sunil Narayan, the way he's bowling, like surely you've got to find a way of getting these, like England have with Hales, like with all the sort of background stuff that's happened with Hales.
Yeah.
You kind of find ways to get your best players in the best positions, don't you? And West Indies seem to be really hell bent on like not doing that. And making the tournament really difficult for themselves. Like last year, they just picked all the old boys, didn't they? And they all walked out with their like Zimmer frames, and they all kind of stood there for a bit and got out and played rubbish. And they I don't think they'd be as bad as they were last year. I think you'd struggle to be any worse. I think, but I think you're right. They're not getting anywhere near the semis. I'd be so surprised. Certainly the way they've selected them.
Obed McCoy, I'm a big fan of. He's someone I didn't realize he could bowl 90 plus miles an hour until recently. He was killing it, absolutely. And I've seen him hit, what was it, like 3 sixes in an over a few years ago or a few months ago. So yeah, definitely for me, if I had to pick one, it'll be that guy. But West Indies don't look as strong, unfortunately, considering what they've done in T20 cricket and all cricket, but like T20 World Cups, 2012, 2016, and now they're at a stage where it's like, we don't think you're going to even qualify.
Is that you saying bring back Carlos Brathwaite or not?
That's exactly what I'm saying. No,
There we go. Imagine that. Stokes to bowl the last over, and no, we can't relive that.
You know what? Stokes is fantastic, but he should not bowl at the death. I'm just telling you.
No, I said that earlier. No chance. No, just let it bat. Hopefully he smacks it everywhere. Fancy a bowl, Ben? Yeah, you can have your bowl, but have it right at the start. just get it out the way. I mean, he's definitely an option for England, but just not the death. Don't let it. No, we've learned our lesson with that.